Hello there, Barbara Ragsdale, independent maker with Close to My Heart. If you purchased the Love Notes Scrapbooking Workshop Kit, this particular video will show you how to cut your cardstock. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got my guide right here to the side, so that'll help me. If you see that paper off to the side, that's just because I'm looking at my guide before I give instructions. The first piece of cardstock that we're going to be working with is shortbread. So you've got to look for your colors, shortbread. And from the looks of it, we're going to be using the darker side. So there are two sides to your cardstock. There's a light side and a dark side. So you can see this is the same piece. You got two pieces in your kit, and one side is a shade or two lighter, and we're going to be cutting the dark side. So make sure that your cardstock is facing the right direction. The first cut that we're going to be making is, let's get our paper in our trimmer. We're going to be cutting a 4 1/4 inch. I'm sorry, hold on. 6 1/4 inch. Cut it at 6 1/4. And where's my quarter? I think my quarter's right there. Okay, so let's cut it at 6 1/4. That's your first cut. And then turn your cardstock sideways. Cut it at 4 1/4. Okay, so this 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 is 1L. So let's put that in your stack of ones. I still have my stacks from my pattern paper. I'm just divvying everything into 1, 2s, and 3s. And then when I go to do the layouts, then I'll separate all my pieces. The next one is also another cut at 4 1/4. This is also 1L. This piece that's left, you can go ahead and leave it in your trimmer. Right now, we're gonna cut that at 3 1/4. Okay, so we're just taking a little bit off the bottom and then turn it sideways and cut it at 4 1/4. Okay, so this piece, this 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 is 2L. And these two pieces that I trimmed off, those are scraps. The piece that you have left, let's get it in our trimmer. Trying to figure out the best way to cut this piece here. Bear with me. You're still going to have scraps. So let's just keep it in our trimmer and cut it at 4 1/4. Nice. So 4 1/4. So I can get that out of my trimmer. Turn your cardstock sideways and cut it at 6 1/4. This 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 is 1R. The piece that's left, cut it at 3 1/4. This 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 is 2R. And these two pieces that we have left, that's scraps. Okay, and then grab your other piece of shortbread. And our first cut is going to be at 4 1/4. Okay, turn it landscape and cut one at 6 1/4. This 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 piece is 1R. The piece that is left, let's Let's try to figure out the best way to cut this piece, because that's the piece that's left. Keep it in your trimmer and cut it at, let me double check this measurement. Yeah, keep it in your trimmer like this and cut it at 2.5 inches. And turn it sideways and cut it at 3. Okay, so ultimately you're going to have a 2.5 by 3 inch piece. This is 1L. So put that with your stack of ones. This little piece that came off and this larger piece right here, those are scraps. Okay, the piece that you have left, get it back in your trimmer, and let's go ahead and cut it at 6 1/4. Then turn your paper sideways and cut it at 4 1/4. This one is 2L. Cut another one at 4 1/4. This one is 2R. The piece that's left, go ahead and put that piece that's left landscape. And let's see. Actually, this is kind of an odd cut right here. Put that paper that's left in your trimmer with the long side going portrait, and let's go ahead and cut it at 3 1/4. Okay, so take that piece, cut it at 3 1/4, then turn it landscape and cut it at 2 1/4. This 2 1/4 by 3 1/4 piece is 2R. The piece that's still in your trimmer, let's cut it at 3 inches. Scoot that over there. And this piece is 1R. And these pieces that are left are scraps. Okay, so that's all the scraps that you have left for those. Kind of some odd scraps with the shortbread, but that's okay. And the next one that we're going to be using is candy apple. And we do want the brighter side. And I'm going to double check my brighter side. Yep, that's the brighter side. Use your brighter side. These are going to be a lot easier. The candy apple ones are a lot easier. This first one, we're going to cut it at 9 1/4. So cut you a piece at 9 1/4. Then turn your cardstock sideways and cut it at 6 inches. So you're going to have two pieces that are 6 by 9 1/4. One of them is 1L and the other one is 1R. So you can put that with your stack of ones. And this piece is scrap. Okay. Our second piece of candy apple. This one looks a little interesting, but that's okay. Let's get this in our trimmer, and we are going to cut it at 4 1/4 is our first cut. Okay, and then turn that piece sideways, landscape, however you want to call it. And our first cut is at 6 1/4. This 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 is 3L. With your paper still in your trimmer, let's cut one at 4 1/4. So this 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece is also 3L. And the piece that's left in your trimmer is scrap. Okay, the large piece that's left with the long side going down, we want to cut it at 4 1/4 all the way down, and then turn it landscape and cut another one at 4 1/4. This piece is 3R, and then cut another one at 3 1/4. This one is 3 1/4. So this 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 piece is 3L. And the piece that's left, you're going to cut that at 3 1/4. Okay, so this 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, this one is 3R. And the piece that's left is scrap. The last piece that's left, this one's kind of odd, but I want to reduce the amount of scrap that I'm going to create with this. So that last piece that's left is, we're going to turn it sideways. Okay, we're going to have to trim it a couple of times. We want this to be 4 1/4. Okay, and then turn it back to portrait and cut it at 3 1/4. Okay, so 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. This is 3R. Piece. We're going to do that again. Yeah, cut it at 4 1/4. So this long piece that's left, put it in your trimmer sideways, and let's cut it at 4 1/4, and then turn it back portrait and trim it to 3 1/4. Okay, so this 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece is 3R. And those two little pieces that came out and that square piece that's left, that is scrap. Okay. Next, all we have left is our white daisy. So grab a piece of your white daisy. And we're going to cut this to 11 1/2 inches by 11 1/2 inches. So you can just put it in a trimmer and trim it down to 11 1/2 inches. So the first cut is 11 1/2 inches. You're going to have two thin pieces of scrap here. Okay. And then flip it in your trimmer and cut it again at 11 1/2 inches. Okay, so this 11 1/2 inch by 11 1/2 inch piece is 1L. So we can put that with our ones, and then you have a couple of pieces of white daisy scrap. And then we're going to do it again. Do it again with your second piece of white daisy. Cut it at 11 1/2 inches. Turn it sideways and then cut it again at 11 1/2 inches. And this one is 1R. So put that with your stack of ones, and then you have two pieces of white daisy cardstock scrap. And then the last piece, oh, we have two more pieces, sorry. So grab another piece of white daisy. You had two pieces with your paper pack, and then there was an extra 3 pieces that were included. We're going to do this again for page 3. So cut it at 11 1/2 inches. Turn it sideways. Cut it again at, you guessed it, 11 1/2 inches. And this one is going to be 3L. And then grab another piece of white daisy cardstock and do the same thing. 11 1/2 inches. Turn it sideways and then cut it at 11.5 inches. And this one is 3R. 3R. I'll get that in my stack of 3s over here. Sorry about that. Okay. And these two pieces, I say these two pieces are scraps. Are they scraps? Yes, they're scraps. Those are scraps. They're not long enough for what we need in the next piece. So your last piece of daisy white cardstock, we're only going to be making 3 cuts. We want to make our first cut at 1/2 inch. So cut a 1/2 inch strip. So you got a 1/2 inch by 12. While your paper's in there, go ahead and cut another one at 1/2 inch. So now you have 2 1/2 inch by 12 inch strips of white daisy. One is 2L and the other one is 2R. So I'm just going to put that with my stack of 2s. And this one is a little bit, this one's a little bit odd, but that's okay. We're going to have 2 big pieces of scrap here. Keep it in your trimmer and go ahead and cut it at 3 inches. And then turn it landscape and cut it at 4. So this 3x4 piece that you have is 3R. And then you have, this is a scrap, and then you have this huge piece of white daisy as a scrap. And then let me just show you all your other scraps that you have. We are done cutting the cardstock for the kit. I'm just trying to grab my scraps here. So these are all the scraps that you have left over, which are very usable. So hold on to those in case you need to cut another small piece that for something else. But other than that, those are all of the cardstock cutting instructions for your Love Notes Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. So hopefully you found that very helpful. All I did was I went off of the instructions that are, there wasn't a printed copy in with my kit, but if you purchase this kit and you need the link to download this particular guide, just let me know. Okay, I had to print mine out, which was okay. It's always nice when they're already printed for you, right? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that cutting instruction tutorial. And if you have any feedback on my videos, if I'm going too fast or if you want me to go slower, just let me know. I'm always welcome to some open feedback. But other than that, enjoy putting your layouts together, and we will see you in the next video.